What if the reason your hostas stay small has nothing to do with fertilizer and everything to do with something you did the day you planted them? Here's the thing nobody tells you at the garden center. A hosta can live for 15 years and never get bigger than a dinner plate. Not because it's a dwarf variety. Not because your soil is bad. But because of a handful of small, invisible mistakes that quietly cap its growth every single year. And I get it, you water them, you feed them, you give them shade like the tag says. So why does your neighbor's hosta look like a monster and yours looks stuck? The problem is that most people were never taught how hostas actually grow. They were taught how to plant them. That's not the same thing. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which of these 7 things is holding your plants back, including one mistake that happens the very first week, before the plant even has a chance. Stick around for reason number 4, because it's the one almost nobody talks about, and it might be the biggest one of all. Let's get into it. Reason 1, you're judging growth too early. Here's a scene almost every hosta owner knows. You plant a nice, healthy-looking hosta in spring. By July, it hasn't grown much at all. You start wondering if you got a bad plant. Most people assume the hosta is either defective or just growing slowly by nature. But here's the surprising part, that's almost never what's happening. Hostas follow something growers call the sleep creep leap pattern. Year 1, the plant looks like it's barely doing anything above the soil. Year 2, it grows a little more. Year 3, it suddenly doubles or triples in size. Here's what most people never realize. All that nothing happening time isn't wasted. The hosta is underground, building a root system. Think of the root system as the plant's savings account. In year 1, it's not buying anything flashy, it's just depositing energy, little by little, so that by year 3 it can afford a growth spurt. If you dig up or divide a hosta before year 3 because it isn't doing anything, you empty that savings account right when it was about to pay off. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Leave a newly planted hosta alone for 3 full growing seasons before judging its size. Water it, mulch it, and otherwise ignore it. Patience isn't a personality trait here, it's a growing strategy. Reason 2, your hosta is starving in the shade you gave it. Now that we understand hostas need time, let's look at something that quietly starves even a well-established plant, often for years, without you noticing. You've probably heard hostas love shade, so you plant them under a big tree in that deep, dark corner of the yard and assume you've done them a favor. At first, this seems helpful. Less sun, less stress, right? But here's where almost everyone gets it wrong. Hostas are solar-powered. Every leaf is basically a tiny solar panel, and sunlight is the only fuel the plant has to build new growth. Full shade doesn't protect a hosta, it puts it on a starvation diet. What's actually happening inside the plant is simple. With too little light, the hosta can only generate enough energy to maintain what it already has. It literally doesn't have the fuel to build bigger leaves or expand its root system. It's not being cautious. It's running on empty. That's exactly why deep shade hostas often stay small for their entire lives, no matter how well you feed or water them. The fix isn't full sun that would scorch the leaves. What most hostas actually want is dappled or morning light. Roughly 2 to 4 hours of gentle sun with shelter from harsh afternoon rays. Moving a struggling hosta just a few feet toward brighter morning light can completely change its trajectory. No sunlight, no size fertilizer can't fix a fuel problem. Reason 3, you're watering the leaves, not the roots, so we've fixed the light problem. But even a well-lit hosta can stay small if the water isn't getting where it actually needs to go. Most people water hostas the same way they'd water a houseplant, a quick splash over the top, just enough to wet the leaves and the surface soil. That feels like watering. But here's the surprising part, it barely counts. Think of the soil as the plant's refrigerator, and the roots as the only hands that can reach inside it. Hostas have deep, wide root systems built to pull moisture from several inches down. A light surface sprinkle never reaches that deep, so the roots stay shallow, always searching upward for water instead of growing outward and downward for stability and size. This is where it gets interesting. A hosta with shallow roots physically cannot support a large canopy of leaves above it. The plant limits its own top growth to match what its roots can sustain. It's not being stubborn, it's being smart. Growing leaves it can't support would be like buying furniture for a house you can't afford. The fix is to water deeply, but less often. Once or twice a week, soak the soil until it's moist several inches down, not just on the surface. This trains the roots to grow deep and wide, which is exactly what a big lush hosta needs underneath it. Deep roots aren't optional, they're the foundation the whole plant is built on. Reason 4: mulch is either saving your hosta or quietly suffocating it now. Here's the one almost nobody talks about, and it can go two completely opposite directions depending on how you do it. Most gardeners believe mulch is simply good for every plant, every time. The more the better. That's mostly true. But here's the twist. Mulch piled directly against the base of a hosta, or applied too thick, does the opposite of what you want. Let's talk about why mulch helps in the first place. Hosta roots hate two things: overheating in summer and drying out. Mulch acts like a blanket that keeps the soil temperature steady and locks moisture in, so the roots can focus their energy on growing instead of constantly reacting to stress. Stressed roots, like a stressed person, don't have extra energy for anything beyond survival. But when mulch is piled directly against the crown, that's the point where the leaves meet the roots. It traps moisture right against the plant's most vulnerable tissue. That constant dampness invites rot and fungal problems that quietly weaken the plant year after year, long before you'd ever see obvious damage. This is completely backwards from what most people expect. The same material that protects the roots can slowly injure the crown if it's touching it. The fix: apply 2 to 3 inches of mulch around the hosta, but leave a small gap like a donut hole right at the base where the leaves emerge. Mulch is a blanket for the roots, not a pillow for the crown. Reason 5: you're dividing too often now that mulch is working with you instead of against you. Let's talk about a mistake that comes from good intentions: sharing. A lot of gardeners divide their hostas every year or two, either to spread them around the yard or share with friends. It feels generous, and it feels like it should encourage healthy new growth, the same way pruning does. But here's the surprising part. For hostas, frequent dividing does the opposite of what it does for many other perennials. Remember that savings account we talked about earlier, the root system? Every time you divide a hosta, you're splitting that savings account into smaller and smaller pieces. Each new division has to start rebuilding its reserves almost from scratch. If you divide again before it's had 2 or 3 years to recover, you never let any single plant build up enough energy to leap into that big, dramatic growth phase. The plant isn't refusing to grow. It genuinely doesn't have the resources yet. The fix is simple restraint. Let a hosta grow undisturbed for at least 3 to 4 years before dividing it. When you finally do divide, make the sections generous, rather than tiny bigger divisions recover and resume growing far faster than small ones. Fewer divisions, bigger hostas. It really is that direct. Reason 6: slugs are taxing your hosta before it can recover. Even a hosta with perfect light, water and roots can stay small if something is quietly taking bites out of it every single night. Most people see a few holes in hosta leaves and think that's just cosmetic damage. The plant will be fine. Here's where that belief falls apart. Leaves aren't just decoration, they're the plant's entire energy-generating system. Every bite a slug takes is removing a piece of the solar panel we talked about earlier. A hosta covered in small holes isn't just less pretty. It's running at a fraction of its energy-producing capacity, night after night, all season long. What's actually happening is a constant, low-grade energy drain. The plant is spending its reserves trying to regrow damaged tissue instead of investing that energy into getting bigger. It's stuck playing defense instead of playing offense. The fix doesn't require heavy chemicals. Watering hostas in the morning instead of the evening means the soil surface dries out by nightfall, when slugs are most active, and slugs hate dry ground. Crushed eggshells or coarse grit around the base create a texture they avoid crossing, and simply removing hiding spots, like piles of dead leaves right at the base, cuts down their nighttime shelter dramatically. Protect the leaves, and you protect the plant's entire power supply. Reason 7: your soil has never actually been fed, trimmed to fit runtime. Here's the last piece, and it's the one that ties every other reason together. Most gardeners assume that because they mulch and water, their soil is automatically in good shape. But soil isn't a static thing, it's alive, and it gets used up. Every year, your hosta is pulling nutrients out of that soil to build leaves and roots. If nothing is ever added back, the soil slowly turns into an empty pantry, even if it looked rich the day you planted. Here's what's actually happening. Without replenishment, the plant can have perfect light and perfect water and still hit a ceiling, because the raw materials for growth simply aren't there anymore. It's like having a great kitchen and a great chef, but an empty fridge. The fix isn't heavy synthetic fertilizer. A yearly top dressing of compost, worked gently into the surface in early spring, slowly restocks that pantry all season long. It's a quiet fix, not a dramatic one, but it's often the missing piece for hostas that have everything else right and still won't size up. Healthy soil isn't a one-time gift. It's an ongoing conversation with your plant. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Your hosta almost certainly doesn't have 7 problems. It has 1. Maybe 2. Most gardeners don't have a black thumb. They've just never had anyone explain what's actually happening underground and behind the scenes. So don't try to fix everything today. Pick the one reason that sounded the most like your garden and just work on that this week. Move it toward better morning light. Water it deeper. Give that mulch a little breathing room at the crown. Small targeted fixes are exactly how sleepy little hostas turn into the giant jaw-dropping plants you see in other people's gardens. The transformation is closer than it feels sometimes. It's really just one season away. If this helped you look at your own garden a little differently, stick around, there's a lot more where this came from. And I'd love to have you back for the next one.